Hey guys, welcome to MotorShare. I'm Joe.
And I'm Chris.
And beside us is a Mercedes AMG GT, a car that when first released was Mercedes' answer to the Porsche 911.
That's right, but 8 years on, and with the release of the new Mercedes AMG GT, the big question is
this car still worth buying today?
Well, we're going to run you through the exterior, the interior, and of course get this bad boy on the road
to help you decide whether this is a car worth purchasing in 2025.
Let's find out. So let's start with the exterior of the AMG GT. First and foremost, you're going to notice the proportions of this car. You have this extremely long front bonnet with a centrally located V8 twin turbo motor. And then you've got this stubby rear end where it almost feels like you're sitting over the rear axle. Similar looking to what you'd know as a Aston Martin DB9 or a Dodge Viper. Right, come with me, let's make this long journey to the front end here. Now, typical AMG fashion, you have a very aggressive front grille. Looks a little bit flat, but the LED incorporated lights are a really nice touch. The only thing that the GT is missing is that iconic Panamericana grille that you see on the GTR. Then we have these blacked out AMG wheels, 255s in the front, 295s in the rear, fitted with these gigantic AMG brakes which are going to stop you on a dime. Now with any good looking thing, I'm always going to be attracted to the rear end. And when I see something looking this good, now that's enough of me rambling. Let me throw you over to Joe and he's going to walk you through the interior. Hopefully he doesn't get as hard as I am.
All right guys, now if the other fellas finish mucking around at the rear end there, we can actually get through this video. So I'll give you guys my first impressions hopping in the interior of this car. And if I could give it one word, it's luxurious. Yep, like any typical AMG, you're presented with all the shiny chrome and silver accents, which just bounce off super nicely with the glossy black leather interior. It looks very elegant, sophisticated, modern, and luxurious. Now, even with a luxurious interior, it's not with its own faults in this 2017 model. For instance, the infotainment system is not the most modern in my opinion. It does have a lack of Apple CarPlay, which call me, you know, comfortable with modern amenities, but I probably wouldn't want to live without Apple CarPlay in here, so I'd want to work out how to get it installed in one of these earlier models. I don't think it was introduced until 2019 onward. And then the center console is a nightmare. You know, you've got this Star Trek design looking spaceship for all your infotainment controls, this spinny dial and this random knob up here, which even after owning this car for over a year, I still don't understand what half of it does. The other thing is the gear knob. I'm not a fan of. It doesn't look very dramatic. It's this tiny little clicky dial that's actually feels like it's behind you. When you reach over to grab it, your elbows smashing into the boot. I'm used to having, you know, your gear knob in line with the steering wheel. Like in a manual, you just snap right over, change gears. But this one, you've actually got to take your eyes off the road and pull your hand all the way back here and click it into reverse. If you're trying to do that quickly, it feels a little unintuitive, but it's all very kind of futuristic, elegant and stylish, which kind of fits the mold of the car, I guess. But one good note I'll give the interior are these stunning seats. Man, they look pristine in my opinion. These nice bucket seats, they got super tight bolstering, so they feel really nice. They don't win on the comfort level, they're quite firm, but man, do they look stunning in my opinion, these AMG seats. Another cool feature in the interior of this one is it does feature a panoramic moonroof, which looks really nice. Yeah, it feels kind of sexy, stargazing at night. It's really cool. Movie night, you know, going driving through the city, you can see all the city lights. Yeah, very luxurious interior. So again, if I could give it one word, luxurious. Anyhow, that's enough fluffing around in the interior. We want to turn the key over on this thing, get it out on the road. Let's do it.
There's something in particular that you really have to get used to if you are looking to own one of these cars or drive one of these cars is just the pure size of the car. This thing's gigantic. It's got such a long bonnet. It kind of reminds me of a Concorde in a way, you know, you can barely see the road in front of you. It's so blimmin' long. Also adds to the aesthetic beauty of what this car truly is. It looks stunning with that long bonnet. And then there's the width of the car. It's such a wide car. You've got those massive wide rear tires under your butt basically. And that's something you have to keep in consideration when parking and driving. It takes up a lot of the road. The width isn't a bad thing though. It provides a better driving experience in my opinion. You've got a lot more of the road that you're covering and you're stuck to, especially being a rear wheel drive car. There's a lot to like about the GT just in general. I think it's a very, very good car.
Alright guys, before we touch on anything, I just need to say how much of a beast this car is. It's pretty savage and you definitely need to respect how much power you're packing underneath that Goliath bonnet, which makes sense because, I mean, look how much space you've got under there to fit all that power. And yeah, my God, do they put it to good use. And the fact it's all getting sent to those rear wheels is just even more fun. Even with those Goliath rear tyres, it still doesn't feel like enough to keep that power planted on the ground. It loves oversteering, and you can definitely feel it because of the seating position. You're practically sitting right over the top of this rear axle, and you can tell from the exterior, from the design, that you are sitting all the way at the back of the car. So if the back does swing out, you're going to be swinging out with it. But the thing is, once you get to know the car, once you get real familiar with it and, you know, kind of see it as an extension of your body, it's not scary at all. Like I said, you definitely need to respect how much power it's got. Do not take this car for granted because it will make you pay for it. But once you do get familiar with it, my God, is this car a lot of fun and is actually very comfortable to drive. Very predictable.
It is a heavy car, but this thing can certainly move. It is bloody impressive, might I add. Everything feels stiff, it feels tight, it feels like a true German built car, built with such quality in mind. And that really adds to the drivability as well. You don't feel like you're just gonna fall off the side of the road because it's got a lot of weight to it. But there's also a lot of weight in the steering as well, which actually you think is a negative, but it gives you a lot more confidence when you're going around tight corners. You've got a lot more weight to your steering wheel, and it just adds to a layer of precision when you're taking those little tight corners. It's really, really nice.
So if you're anything like me and love a little bit of oversteer, this car is going to be a hell of a lot of fun in your capable hands. All right, now let me touch on, in my opinion, the most standout feature with this vehicle is the noise. My God, the noise this car makes is incredible. I think a lot of vehicles lose that aggressive raw audio once it's turbocharged. You know, take for instance the Ferrari 458 versus the 488. You lose that iconic exhaust note. It kind of gets muffled with that turbocharger. But somehow Mercedes-Benz have kept this thing sounding absolutely savage. It's still got a hell of a lot of dog in it because this thing sounds raw, it sounds aggressive, it sounds sexy, and in my opinion is the standout feature with the car. It just makes it so much fun listening to it. Overall, the driving feel of the car is kind of exactly how you imagine it. So the whole design of the exterior kind of easily explains how you'd expect this car to drive. It does feel quite long, it actually does feel quite big, so I myself prefer something a little bit more nimble, like a 911. This thing's quite big and weighty, but my God, the amount of power it's laying down and the fact it's rear wheel drive kind of makes up for how much fun you can have in this thing. It's very sexy, it's very elegant and aggressive at the same time, so it's kind of best of both worlds, you know what I mean? Yeah, very sexy, very elegant, very aggressive. How can you be all those things and more? Well, somehow Mercedes-Benz are making it happen.
The throttle response is, again, immaculate. You get a lot of response out of that V8 twin turbo for sure. The pedals are really easy. You get a nice satisfying click when you're changing through gears. It's got a bit of everything, this car. You know, it's got a bit of dog from that engine note, that exhaust note. Then it's got the practicality aspect. You've got the really actually large boot space. It's a full functioning boot. You can fit your grocery shopping in there. You can fit blooming golf clubs in there if you really wanted to, which is nice. Got this lovely sunroof above us as well, which just adds to the comfort aspect of this car. Wow, Joseph, what a car.
Right?
You know, it's a car that we've had for a while.
A little over a year.
You really don't like it for whatever reason. You don't like the shape of it, I get that, right?
Yep.
But like, there's a reason why the AMG it just as a series is so popular, and with our members. This is why this car is probably the most driven in our fleet.
Yeah, I think it is. No, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely very sexy.
Yeah.
It's very elegant.
Yeah, like me.
I like small, nimble, you know, something a little bit more sharper.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for the retired, sexy, elegant look yet.
It's refined.
Yeah.
A little bit more refined. Like, you can make it unrefined by throwing it in Sport Plus mode and throwing that rear out of short. But, you know, that's
the only thing that wins me over.
It's a date night car.
It's driving this thing, because it looks elegant, it looks refined, but man, you can have this thing
You can have some fun.
like a savage beast.
But it doesn't feel like it wants to kill you, right?
No.
Like, you actually feel like, well, because you're sitting over the rear wheels, right? You move with the car. It's quite nice, and it's very heavy in the steering too. So like, you're not, when you are having a bit of a spirited drive and you get a little bit loose, like, you feel like you've got that weight in the steering wheel where it's just comfortable. It's not like a light car where you're like trying to keep it on the road. It's just nice.
Yeah, as long as you're paying attention.
As long as you're paying attention,
because it will creep up on it.
Yeah. This thing would attract a power pole every once in a while, I'd imagine. I think the thing I like the most about the AMG V8s is you get a really good engine noise from it. Like a proper V8 engine noise.
It is the standout feature.
Usually a turbo car's quite muffled, but they've done really well to bring out a stunning note in this motor. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, whether it's coming from the engine or the exhaust, it sounds incredible. So this car has won me over with noise. I love that. It's badass.
Personally, if I had, you know, roughly 100-120k to choose a sport car, it wouldn't be something that I would choose because it just doesn't suit my specific lifestyle. As we touched on, it's like it's an older man car. The AMG's quite refined. I'm not a refined character. I'd rather splash the cash on a 32 GTR or a 33 GTR, whatever. I'm that
stupid.
That
right?
driven. Something stupid. Yeah. A little bit more obnoxious, I suppose. But this is a beautiful car. You certainly get a lot of looks when you're in a GT because you don't see many around.
No, this thing definitely gets looks. That is undeniable. Yeah, it definitely garners a hell of a lot of attention.
The Germans do build a good car, mate.
No, I think AMGs are beautiful, sexy, elegant, but they've still got a bit of dog in them, and I think that's what people love.
So, Joseph, how about we step out and...
Yeah, and we'll give these guys a conclusion on whether we think you should still buy one of these in 2025.
100%. Alrighty, Joe. We've owned this car for a couple of years now, so run me through your pros and cons that you like about it and you don't like about it.
Yeah, look, since we've had it so long, we have had time to see what has been compromised and kind of the car's own quirks. And first and foremost, the lack of Apple CarPlay, the tech in the car. You've got no touchscreen.
The tech was good when it came out in 2017. The lack of CarPlay does suck, but it is what it is. They did release that in the newer versions. From 2019 onwards, you have your CarPlay integration. I don't know why it took Mercedes so long, but there you go.
Yeah, so this thing is missing out on Apple CarPlay. That's something I can't live without. Suspension, non-comfortable seats. I mean, you're not going to take this on a long cruise, are you?
No.
But if you can forgive those few things, then the interior is incredibly timeless. And the design, my God, that is a timeless design. And this car garners a hell of a lot of attention no matter where you go.
Yeah, with the later model cars, especially the GT versions, the GTS, GTC, GTR, whatever, you've got your headlight upgrades and your front grille upgrades and just subtle differences. But yeah, in general,
but overall,
as Joe said,
the design has stayed
the same. It's an iconic looking GT car. It's pretty insane.
They did it once and they did it right. It's beautiful.
We've had no issues with this car at all.
No.
As long as you're getting it serviced regularly, just ticks along very, very nicely. Very nicely.
And it gets driven.
It gets driven, yeah.
We drive this thing, probably more than any of our other cars, and it's still
moral of the story,
looked after us. We've looked after it and it's looked after us.
Drive your cars, people, all right? They don't like being sat in the garage. Drive your bloody cars. That's what they were designed to do. Get behind the wheel and experience them. Don't worry about the depreciation on it. Bloody drive your cars.
Yeah.
Get them out there.
That's right.
That's what they were built to do.
Yeah. So look, whether you think this car is going to age itself into, you know, a dying classic or stay as this timeless
piece of art,
I think this car still deserves its space in the spotlight.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we'll look back at this car in 10 years' time and be like, wow.
Ageless classic.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah. So whether you guys think this car is a timeless classic or not, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know. But with that, see you guys in the next one.
We will. See what we can conjure up for you next time. Peace out.
I know I've broken promises.